It's okay if my eyebrows are bothering you because they're bothering me too. Okay guys, so I'm not sure how well this is going to go. I'm really awkward in person and I'm really awkward in front of a camera, but this is something that I've thought about and I really want to do. So we gonna try it, okay? So this is the story about how I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. I had stage 1C ovarian cancer, and basically what that means is that it was contained within my ovary, but it ruptured in my body. And so because it was contained, it was a stage 1, just one ovary, but it ruptured, meaning cancer cells could have gone anywhere, which made it the C. And so it's kind of a long story, so bear with me. Like I said, I'm really horrible in front of a camera, so I'm sure this is gonna be just as interesting. But I'm gonna do my best, and I really want this whole project to be a learning experience for everybody, and I want to, I don't know, if I could even affect one person. I know the type of cancer I had was really rare, and I don't know. I couldn't find a lot of information on it when I was going through it, and if I can help one person, then I've done my job. So this all started back in August. It was like the 22nd or 23rd, and I went to bed. It was a Thursday, I know that much, it was a Thursday, and I went to bed and I had really bad heartburn, and I was just really hot, but I mean, it's August and I live in Iowa, it's always hot, so I didn't really think too much of it. I was like, I ate something, let's just, you know, turn the fan on and try and go to sleep. And I could not sleep, and part of that too was I remember my dog kept jumping down and running to the front door, and I couldn't figure out what he was doing, and I was really confused. So I didn't get much sleep, and I woke up the next morning and I didn't feel much better, so I took some Tums and went to work and was like, hopefully it just gets better at work. Yeah, so while I was at work, the pain got increasingly worse, and I had scheduled, well, my mom had scheduled a doctor's appointment. I talked her into scheduling it for me because I'm not a real adult. But so she scheduled me a doctor's appointment, and I was gonna go after work when I got off at 3, but the pain got so bad I could not laugh, I could not stand, and it was like all through my chest area and shooting up through my right shoulder here. And so our initial reaction was, oh my god, your gallbladder is going, or something like that. I remember I ended up getting off work about 30 minutes early, and I was driving to my mom's work because her work is right by the hospital, and I was gonna talk to her, and every time I would hit a bump, it just set me into like these sobbing tears. And I have a high pain tolerance, guys, like, so she's like, you need to go to the ER. That's all they're gonna do at the doctor's office, is send you to the ER. So I went to the ER. My mom was at a different doctor's appointment, but she came over afterwards. And at this point, by the time I got there and got checked in, it was probably right around 3 o'clock. And so they started initially running blood tests. God, I cannot remember what order they did things in, but basically while I was there, I had blood tests done. I had 2 ultrasounds, like 2 CT scans, I believe, and x-rays of my entire abdomen area. And the only thing that they could find wrong was that one of my blood counts was high, which was a tumor marker, and there was something wrong with my right ovary. They didn't know what it was, but it was the size of a grapefruit. And for those of you who are maybe men, or maybe just don't know, an ovary on a normal day is the size of an almond. So it was quite enlarged. And at this point, it was about probably 11 o'clock at night by the time they found this. Everything went pretty fast. When I first got there, they immediately started me on morphine to help the pain, and just did all the tests they could. And once they realized that, at 11 o'clock at night, they said, we can no longer treat you. We need to transfer you up to the University of Iowa, which is about an hour and a half from my home. I don't know how many of y'all watching this are from home. So they transferred me by ambulance up there, and they sent me by ambulance because I was hemorrhaging on the inside, and I had lost a unit of blood, and they were scared that if they took monitors off of me, something might happen, and they didn't know what, but They were scared I could go into shock, I could continuously lose blood. We really weren't sure about anything going on at this point. So I went up and I got to the University of Iowa at about 1 a.m.-ish. And I started at their ER. And I'm gonna be really honest, I don't remember much of their ER because they had to give me Ativan, which is an anxiety medicine. And yeah, I don't remember much after that. I do remember they did another ultrasound there, but aside from that, the only thing I remember is a guy coming into my room, and my little ER room, and saying, all right, we got your hospital room ready, let's go. And they wheeled me up to a hospital room, and that's when it hit me. I was being admitted, and I had never been admitted into the hospital before. I had never had stitches, never broke a bone, never underwent surgery, and so I was really confused at this point, and we still didn't know what was going on. So they admitted me into the hospital, and I stayed there for 2 nights. They monitored my pain, my heart rate. That was the other thing, is my heart rate was really high previously. So they monitored everything. They kept me on pain pills, and they kept me there for 2 days. You guys can do the math. I ended up getting out of the hospital on August 25th, so this all started the Thursday that was before that. August 25th is when I got out. That's my mom's birthday. And they basically said, we don't know what this is still, but you're not in pain, so go home and we will see you in about a week. And so I came home, I went back to work, and I felt uneasy, but discomfort, but I was on pain meds a lot. I was on constant Tylenol, constant ibuprofen, and so I wasn't in excruciating pain. And when I went up, my gynecologist that was dealing with my case said, I've talked to our team of doctors up here, and I've talked to this oncologist, and we think that you need to go through surgery. Your tumor marker is high, and because of all of this, we're not quite sure what it is, and I just would feel more comfortable doing surgery and removing your ovary. And this was really hard for me, not because of the surgery. Well, surgery was like always my biggest fear, guys. Like, it bothered me a little bit, but I had to brace myself. They did not know going in, are we gonna take the ovary? Are we gonna take both ovaries? Are we gonna do a full hysterectomy? And I'm sorry if this is TMI for some of you guys out there, but I didn't know what it was. We didn't know if it's benign. It could be a cyst. It could be a dermoid or a teratoma. It could be cancer. And so that mental state, I can't even describe, you guys. It was horrible, and I don't like to talk about the hard parts of this, but I feel like that's what's gonna help people. I remember going into surgery, and before they took me, just bawling my eyes out because I had to tell my mom. So I had to sign a waiver to like give my mom the okay to make the calls during surgery because I would be unconscious. And I had to tell her, like, if this is bad, you need to do what is best. Like, just take it all. We'll deal with it later. And so they did the surgery. They removed my ovary. They sent it in for a freeze biopsy, which is basically where they biopsy it really quick while you're still unconscious. It came back benign, and they told my family, they're like, it's benign, it's a teratoma, it's mostly fat cells, and like, and no, for the record, like, this has nothing to do with like the fat that's in your body. It's just, it's a different type of thing. This was nothing that I did, just to kind of disclaim that. But it's mostly fat cells and like tissue, and a teratoma is basically all these extra parts from your body that were produced, and it just kind of builds into a ball. And they're like, so that's basically what it was. It just kind of grew, her ovary exploded, that was the immense pain. But you're fine. We'll call you back with the full pathology report, but there's only a 5% chance that we are wrong here. So just go home, start healing, you're fine. So I go home and I start healing, and I'm feeling decent, feeling pretty okay. And the week after, exactly 1 week after my surgery, I get a call and it says an unknown number. And I just kind of looked at my phone. I remember sitting on my couch out here, and I remember looking at my phone and thinking, okay, that's weird. And I sent it to voicemail, and then I got a voicemail, and it ended up being my gynecologist, and she told me I needed to call her back, and right then I knew something was wrong. They do not tell you to call them back if something is wrong. And so basically, she had ended up calling me back just a few minutes later before I could even call her back. And she said that she was very sorry, but that it was misdiagnosed, and it was, in fact, an immature teratoma, which was a rare type of ovarian cancer. And now, she did not tell me this, but after doing my research, ovarian cancer is not a super popular cancer to begin with, and immature teratomas affect less than 1% of ovarian cancers. They are so rare. So you have your ovarian cancers, and then one stem of that is your germ cell tumors, which is the type that mine was. And under germ cell tumors, you have a bunch of different specific types. The University of Iowa only deals with about 1 or 2 germ cell tumors a year, not just my type, all these types of germ cell tumors. When I was going through treatment, they got to talk to testicular doctors about it because it's more common in men with the testicular end of things than the ovarian. So she's like, I'm sorry, but I can no longer deal with your case. I need to transfer you to this oncologist, and she will have you come up and meet with her and discuss your treatment plan and go from there. And you may have to go through chemo, and I'm very sorry, and I wish you the best, basically. Don't attack her, because that's just me summarizing. She was very great on the phone. But yeah, and so long story short, I did end up having to go through chemo. I will get into my experience with chemo on a different day in a different video, but that is how I was diagnosed. It was a whirlwind, and it was basically a month, not even a month that this all happened, because I started chemo on October 1st, so the month of September was pretty much this. And yeah, so that is the first story. The next, I'm gonna do my experience with chemo, and I don't know what else I'm gonna do for this series type thing, but leave me your ideas, and that's it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.